Hello, you all. Here we are grading the submission, actually listening and watching and critiquing the submission brought to us by Jennifer. So let's get over to this thing and get it turned on and get you going on it.
Hey guys, I'm back with another PowerPoint for my presentation. We did students who live on a hypothetical campus. I'm Jennifer, and I hope you enjoy. This is my outline for my presentation. I researched scenario, available data on population, sampling method, diagrammatic illustration of simple random sampling, application of the sampling technique, suitability of the sampling technique, benefits of sampling method, and limitations of sampling method. That's just some of the things I'm going to go over with my PowerPoint. First, I did research method. This is what I researched. Distracting social aspect on campus living students can negatively affect their grades. I got that from Linguist 2018. To test this phenomenon, I chose to select a sample of 100 students who live on a hypothetical campus in the United States. The participants were interviewed about their opinion in regards to social aspects of on-campus living and its impact on performance, especially their grades. So this is just a little background on what I did for the research. I looked at 100 students.
Okay, so the independent variable is living on campus. The dependent variable is grades.
All right, this is my available data for the population. Primary data. Primary data provides significant information regarding the research. It includes data obtained through a survey of the students living on campus. I had access to students' data stored in the information systems within the campus. It would be useful to develop a clear population size. I also had access to secondary data. It comprised exactly sources of information such as newspapers and journal articles that highlight on-campus living in the hypothetical institution. Sampling method. I chose probability sampling of students who live on a hypothetical campus in the United States. It would be tedious to conduct research on the whole population of students who live on campus. However, the sampling technique facilitated equal representation in the sense that the population had an equivalent chance of being selected to participate in the research. I used simple random sampling as the main method for the selected technique. The style involves randomly picking participants from the identified population. That was the 100 students that I chose for campus.
Okay, now this sampling technique is going to produce results that are only generalizable to this college. If she wanted to make the results generalizable nationwide to the population of college students, she would have to randomly sample college students from everybody in America, and that would be unwieldy, like she says. However, there is a technique through which you can do that a little more easily, and it's called cluster/multi-stage sampling, wherein you take a random number of states, and then you take a random number of colleges from each of those randomly selected states, and then you select students at random from each of those randomly selected colleges. In those three stages, you have done the same thing, actually sampled every college student nationwide in actuality, and it would give you the same thing. That is good old cluster multi-stage sampling.
This was a little graph that I, for random sampling. If you can look at the graph, it just shows all over the place. You just choose, students from anywhere and all over, nothing specific, nothing really close. This was just a little graph that I chose. Application for the sampling technique. The first step involved identifying the population size. All students living on campus. Numbers were allocated to the population. I used a computer to randomly generate numbers due to the fact that the population was very large. 100 numbers that correspond to the study population were selected. The sampling technique facilitated creation of a smaller sample size, which would be easier to incorporate in the study. Findings from the sample size were used to generalize the phenomenon in the larger population. Stability of the sampling technique. The research is aimed at exploring whether distracting social aspect of online campus living can result into net negative effect on students' grades. The fact that the study involves participants with a common trait on campus students makes simple random sampling an ideal technique in the sense that each individual represents the target population. The research involves a large population of hundreds of on-campus living students. Therefore, the technique is suitable in selecting a smaller group to represent the population size. The technique is also applicable in the research scenario in the sense that there exists an equal probability of each student being selected for the study. Therefore, it minimizes chances of biasness that may exist in other techniques such as convenience non-probability sampling. Benefits of the sampling method. Simple random sampling has the least form of biasness if used appropriately. Got that from Omar 2014. Every person in the population has an equal chance of being selected as a participant. Going back to my graph, you choose anyone, anywhere on not something specific. The method also facilitates better representation of the target population. Equivalence of selection during sampling makes it easier to generalize the findings over a large population. Simple random sampling is the easiest way of sampling. The method does not require the researcher to have any technical experience. The technique is cost-effective. Research is conducted over a small sample which represents a larger population, which saves time and resources that may have been allocated on the whole group. Limitations. There exists a probability of sampling selection bias in using simple random sampling. The biasness may occur in the event where the population size is not inclusive of the target group. There may also exist difficulties in obtaining the population size. For instance, in conducting the research on students living on campus, the management may not be willing to provide the required data about their group. Therefore, the theory of random sampling, equal chances of selection, may be jeopardized. The technique may also be time-consuming in a scenario of scattered population size. The researcher would need more time to collect data on a population before selecting the sample size. And this is my research. All of the references that I used. I hope you guys enjoyed my PowerPoint and my presentation. Have a great afternoon.
Well, I certainly enjoyed it. I can tell you that. It was great and top notch, in fact. Well done, Jennifer. And I hope it's informative and enlightening to all of us. See you next time. Bye-bye.